Hello learners, in the last video we looked at the factual circumstances of Methanex versus United States. In this video we will look at what are the claims that Methanex had made in the investment arbitration. So Methanex wanted or Methanex stated that the amended resolution in its own form was enacted to harm methanol producers, but as we have seen in the last video, because of certain technical difficulties, it was not able to challenge the amended resolution. And then Methanex was saying that the harmful effects of MTBE that is projected by the California's UZ report and the subsequent orders are something done with an intent to harm methanol producers. So basically, it said that the resolutions itself was enacted in order to harm methanol producers. So this is how it wanted to proceed with the claim, and it stated that the projection of harmful effects of MTBE cannot be completely accepted, and because they can be attributed to the improper way with which underground storage tanks of gasolines were maintained, and it was maintained in such a way that there could be leak of any number of compounds into the groundwater. Methanex also stated that other than MTBE, the groundwater of California was even contaminated with benzene also, and it also stated that California domestic water supply can be seen to be contaminated with ethanol as well. So it stated that there were many other different reasons which could be projected for the presence of MTBE in groundwater. It could be because of the underground storage tank also. This is what mainly Methanex was saying. Since it was not in a position to challenge the amended measure, Methanex was basically challenging the California executive order that was passed by Governor Davis in 1999 after the University of California report was received. So that was the first measure. Then the resolutions that were passed to implement this California executive order, those were also challenged. The main contention of Methanex was that these measures were taken to promote domestic ethanol industries, and it stated that California received certain political and financial inducements from the ethanol manufacturers, and Methanex went to the extent of saying that there was a nationalistic bias against Methanex because it was a Canadian corporation. So these are the claims that Methanex made against United States of America. And now what are the violations of NAFTA provision that Methanex was claiming? We can see the three provisions were claimed by the claimant to be violated in the NAFTA, and the first one was national treatment, because basically it stated that ethanol producers were favored over methanol producers. So clearly Methanex was making a claim of violation of national treatment under Article 1102 of NAFTA. It was also saying that Methanex was treated unfairly and inequitably by the United States, thereby violating Article 1105 of NAFTA. And thirdly, it was also saying that there was expropriation because California had taken over its share of oxygenate market. So that amounted to expropriation, and therefore that violated Article 1110 of NAFTA. These are the violations of NAFTA that Methanex were claiming. Now, initially, the tribunal had to decide on jurisdiction. So, the tribunal heard the initial arguments of Methanex and the United States and passed an award, a partial award on jurisdiction and admissibility. And in that, this is where the tribunal had questioned what is a legally significant connection between the measures and the investment made by Methanex. And this, the tribunal asked this question by interpreting the phrase proximate cause in Article 1101. Even then, the tribunal decided to admit to this particular matter because Methanex was also making a claim with regard to the intent of Governor Davis behind enacting California executive order and the subsequent resolution, and the connection with the political and financial inducements by domestic ethanol industries. So on that part alone, the tribunal agreed to proceed to the next stage. Now, after the partial award was passed by the tribunal, the Methanex using Article 35 of UNCITRAL Arbitration Rules of 1976. The case was decided in 2005. So at that point of time, the UNCITRAL Arbitration Rules that were relied on for this case was the 1976 UNCITRAL Arbitration Rules. So there it relied on Article 35 and then filed a request for interpreting the partial award. So particularly Methanex was contending that it wanted the tribunal to elaborate on how it is interpreting proximate cause in Article 001. Otherwise, Methanex claimed that otherwise Methanex would be sort of forced to bring arguments and bring evidence for an undefined standard. So that was the claim. So it wanted definition of what the tribunal meant by legal connection between the measures and investments. It wanted some sort of an elaboration for that. Then the tribunal stated that uh, it agreed for the matter to be proceeded to the next stage because Methanex was alleging on the intent behind these regulatory measures, and therefore the tribunal stated that Methanex should adduce evidence proving that there was an intent behind enacting these regulatory measures, and that regulatory measures was taken because Methanex was against foreign methanol producers. So tribunal wanted Methanex also to show that these measures were taken in order to affect foreign methanol producers as well. So that was this thing. So and it stated that there is no ambiguity. Methanex need not remove, sort of look for an ambiguity by only reading a particular line in Article 001, 1101 in isolation. The tribunal stated that if it reads the provision as a whole, then there is no ambiguity. So that is what how tribunal had looked at with respect of the interpretation request submitted by Methanex. So there was a partial award. Then over the partial award, Methanex claimed a first interpretation request, and this is how tribunal gave a reply. So now after this, Methanex challenged the appointment of one arbitrator, and that arbitrator eventually withdrew from the tribunal. Then Methanex filed a second interpretation request on the ground that since one of the arbitrator is not there, so it wanted to revisit the partial award. And specifically, what is the point that it want to relook was, it stated that Methanex stated that for proving a violation of Article 1102, the claimant need not prove an intent for the violation to be that of discrimination based on nationality. So ordinarily, as we've discussed in earlier videos, also how the legal standard for violation of national treatment goes, we discussed it in the earlier video, right? So there is no requirement for proving intent to discriminate based on the nationality to be present. So then, while answering this request of Methanex, the tribunal also acknowledged the US concern. The US said that tribunal should not entertain the second interpretation request because as per Article 32 of UNCITRAL arbitration rules, the award that is passed is final and binding. So Article 32 of arbitration rules clearly states that award shall be final and binding, and therefore as per US, the award is final and binding. Then Methanex contended that it is a partial award. So partial award is not a final and binding award. So Article 32 will not be applicable in terms of partial award. So the Methanex contention was the principle of res judicata is only applicable in terms of final award and not in terms of partial award. So to this contention, US replied that Methanex relied on Article 35 for the first request, and that can flow only if it is an award under Article 32. So that means while filing the first request, Methanex sort of considered it to be an award under Article 32. That is why it had invoked Article 35. Right. So when now Methanex cannot challenge that it is not an award under Article 32. If it is not an award under if it is an award under Article 32, then it is final and binding. So therefore, the tribunal should not relook at it. So this was a contention. The tribunal acknowledged this argument of the United States. So the tribunal also stated that the partial award is something that is also a final and binding award, and it's an award under Article 32 of UNCITRAL arbitration rules. And tribunal gave a reasoning as to why it is making this decision. The tribunal stated that if it is not considered as a final award, then at the arbitration involves multiple stages, then the awards that are passed in multiple stages, they can be challenged anytime. Especially the losing party will keep on challenging just because it was the award was not passed to the final stage, but in an earlier stage. So because of that, the tribunal stated that no matter whatever stage it is, the award that is passed who should be considered an award as per Article 32, which is a final and binding award. And accordingly, the tribunal rejected the second interpretation request of Methanex. While rejecting the second interpretation request, it also made a remark that what is it Methanex wanted the tribunal to do? It wanted to take a relook at the point with regard to intent. So Methanex, while clarifying the first interpretation request, while addressing the first interpretation request, had clarified that it wanted Methanex to adduce evidence to add credibility, or for the tribunal to determine the credibility of the allegation, whether there was an intent to, an intent behind passing the domestic regulatory measures in order to promote domestic ethanol industries, and whether there was some sort of a political and financial inducement on the part of Governor Davis, and whether methanol was discriminated against because of its nationality, because Methanex had claimed that it was there was a nationalistic bias against Methanex because of its Canadian nationality. So that is something it had made a claim. I personally feel that had Methanex not made this statement, it would have been relatively easier to just look at or to just adduce evidence to prove that there were political or financial inducements of domestic ethanol industries. I mean, so now what the tribunal wanted was that the intent, Methanex had to adduce evidence for the intent, plus the fact that it was discriminated against because of nationality. So that is where the tribunal ended the interpretation on the partial award and stated that partial award is final and binding. So after this, then there were some procedural aspects to this particular case. After navigating these procedural difficulties, then the merits hearing had happened. So in the next video, we will look at these procedural the aspects of this particular case, especially one with regard to amicus curiae submission, then scientific evidence. This case is very important because this was the first investment arbitration to accept amicus curiae submission. So it actually it becomes very significant for us to look at those procedural aspects also, given the fact this is the very first investment arbitration to accept amicus curiae petition. So that we will be looking at in detail in the next video. Thank you.